that experience like going over there?
Man, it was like I've performed in the Middle East before, so like
you've done a bunch of shows out there.
Yeah, like it's just not everybody make this big thing like, oh my god, it's gonna be so crazy, blah blah. I posted I posted my set because
Andrew Schulz's decision to perform in Saudi Arabia wasn't just another comedy tour stop. It became a lightning rod for global debate. Imagine this: a comedian known for his unapologetic style stepping into one of the world's most controversial countries where human rights discussions are never far from the spotlight. The moment Schulz announced his appearance at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, social media erupted. Critics called him out, accusing him of turning a blind eye to the nation's political controversies. But Schulz didn't flinch, not even for a second. His response: "I'll perform wherever my fans are. I don't care what their governments do." Bold, defiant, and unmistakably him. Now think about that for a moment. In a time when celebrities are constantly walking on eggshells to avoid public outrage, Schulz didn't just walk, he stomped across the line. His stance wasn't just about comedy, it was about principle. To him, art should transcend politics. He's not a diplomat, not a politician. He's an entertainer connecting with people who love his work, no matter where they live.
Yeah. You also don't have to.
Right.
But it might be different if you got like tons of DMs of people going, please come out here. We've been watching your special. We've been doing all these things. You're like, oh, that'd be really awesome to come perform for you guys.
But here's the question: is that brave or careless? Should artists perform anywhere fans exist? Even if the governments of those places have troubling records, Schulz's statement hit a nerve because it challenges something we all wrestle with: moral responsibility in a globalized world. When a comedian steps on stage in Riyadh, is he endorsing the country's leadership or simply performing for fans who've waited years to see him live? Schulz seems to believe the latter. In his eyes, people shouldn't be punished for where they live or what their governments do. And in fairness, that's a point worth considering. There are real fans in Saudi Arabia, people hungry for laughter, for the freedom of expression comedy represents, something that, ironically, Schulz's visit may have helped expand. When rumors spread online that comedians were being forced to follow strict censorship rules at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, Andrew Schulz didn't just laugh it off. He tore the whole narrative apart. Critics claimed that Saudi organizers made performers sign a list of banned topics, supposedly silencing jokes about politics, religion, or social issues.
So yeah, but the idea is you're being paid by a dictator.
Good, my fans get a discount. It's not like they didn't. It's not like they didn't have to pay for the tickets. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just a little added on top from the family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Bro, this comic out there said the funniest. It's fucked up. He said the funniest shit. Now it's like, yeah. So what do you think about them? You know, chopping up that journalist? He goes, they chopped up one journalist so women can drive.
One of the most shocking moments from Andrew Schulz's conversation with Joe Rogan came when he repeated a dark, razor-edged joke about the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. They chopped up one journalist so women can drive. The moment he said it, the air in the room shifted. It was offensive to some, hilarious to others, but undeniably powerful. That single line reignited global backlash and reminded everyone why Schulz is one of the most polarizing voices in modern comedy. He wasn't defending the act itself. He was exposing the brutal irony of how progress and tragedy can coexist in the same story. Still, it made people furious. Should a comedian really touch something that raw? This moment perfectly captures the dangerous tightrope comedians walk today. On one side is the freedom to say anything, the essence of comedy. On the other side is moral sensitivity, the awareness that some jokes can reopen wounds. Schulz didn't flinch, though. He laughed about it. He used that discomfort as a tool to force people to look at the hypocrisy of outrage. And maybe, just maybe, that's what great comedy is supposed to do, make you laugh while you're questioning your own reaction. But what do you think? Should humor be fearless, or should there be boundaries even for the boldest voices? Critics were quick to slam him for insensitivity, accusing him of mocking a man's death. Supporters fired back, saying he was holding up a mirror to the world's contradictions, pointing out that the same country responsible for that horrific act is now celebrated for reform, for letting women drive, for hosting global events. It's a brutal irony wrapped in a punchline, the kind of humor that hurts because it's uncomfortably close to the truth. When Andrew Schulz and Joe Rogan began calling out hypocrisy in the comedy world, it wasn't just casual gossip, it was a full-blown reality check for the entire industry. In their conversation, Schulz went after fellow comedians like Mark Maron, accusing them of pretending to be moral gatekeepers while secretly playing the same games they criticize others for. Everybody inside comedy knows who the pieces of bleep are, Schulz said bluntly, and that statement hit hard. It wasn't filtered, it wasn't polite, it was the kind of raw honesty that makes people uncomfortable because it exposes what usually stays behind closed doors.
People eat cockroaches?
Show. So the reality show, which is #1 show in the country,
yeah,
would have if it didn't exist.
that was a Trump moment right there.
#1, it was the best. But when the idea was that somehow or another this is stealing, it's the dumbest justification.
You're just angry,
where
bro.
You didn't look at it at all. You didn't have any insight. You didn't like step back and go, okay, let me reflect on this. Does this make any sense? Because it doesn't make any sense, because those people are doing a job outside of comedy.
Exactly.
Just like me. I'm doing a job outside of comedy too.
But you can't even give it any credence.
Their discussion opened a window into the darker side of comedy, where envy, ego, and politics often overshadow the art itself. According to Schulz and Rogan, some comedians love to tear others down once they see them succeed. It's not about integrity or creative criticism, it's about resentment. Schulz even mentioned long-standing feuds and double standards, pointing out that while certain comics accuse others of selling out, they've done the same when it benefited them. That's not just a joke, that's a reflection of how fame can twist friendships and breed quiet rivalry. But here's the question that hits deeper. Why does this matter to audiences? Because it reveals that the same people who make us laugh about life's absurdities often struggle with the same insecurities and contradictions as anyone else. It's a scene we've seen play out again and again. Public figures turning on their friends to save their image when controversy erupts. But hearing it from Schulz made it sting more, because he wasn't talking about strangers. He was talking about people inside comedy. People who once stood beside Rogan, laughed with him, shared his success, and now pretend they barely know him. And that begs a question for everyone watching. When the spotlight gets hot, do you stand by your principles or step back to protect your brand? Rogan, for his part, didn't seem bitter. He's disappointed. He's seen this cycle before. People love you when you're trending, but the moment you're accused of something, they vanish. Schulz saw it as hypocrisy. The same comedians who once praised Rogan for helping them build their audience suddenly became critics to stay in the internet's good graces. It's a reflection of how fame changes people, how fear of cancellation can rewrite friendships overnight. But here's where Schulz's take hits deeper. He wasn't just defending Rogan. He was making a larger point about integrity. In a world where public opinion shifts by the minute, standing by someone during a storm has become rare. He sees that as weakness disguised as morality. People say they're distancing themselves for ethical reasons, but often it's just self-preservation. And in the comedy world, a space built on loyalty, freedom, and speaking truth, that kind of behavior feels like betrayal.
Genuinely, I liked him.
I love him as a statesman. I think he was the best statesman we've ever had.
You just felt good.
Yes.
You just felt good.
We felt like he's a great representative of America.
100%.
He's as intelligent and measured as anybody who's ever held the office. Better than any. Like Clinton, when he was young, was really good. I think Obama was another level.
Yes. So,
I think Obama was another level.
Anyway, but it's like, yeah, you did it. You did the thing. You did the exact same thing. Talk all this shit about like, oh,
we just had him on recently. You didn't ask him anything.
Of course he did.
Anything like would you have repealed the Smith-Mundt Act?
But is that surprising to you?
It? No, not
of course not, because we know, because we're inside.
Well, this is the thing. He like positions himself as this intellectual, but he doesn't say anything interesting.
Yeah, I think
there's nothing that guy ever says where I'm like, wow, that's a unique insight.
That's the thing.
Fucking never. It's childish with a good vocabulary.
No, I think he's a smart guy. I think he's probably smarter than he is funny, and I think that drives him crazy.
Yeah, but he's also too obsessed with himself to be reflective enough to understand like why other people don't like him.
Wait, you're saying the guy who talks by himself for 5 minutes before the president comes on? 15 minutes? If there wasn't for Fast Forward, there would be no Maron podcast.
Yeah.
And that was
just
before
the rant.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the rant. Imagine.
But anyway, so it's just like
the rant is what killed the show, by the way. If he didn't have the rant, he probably wouldn't be like bottom 200.
I think better shows came out, and it's just like that's just the nature of the game.
There's that too, but it's also like he's not that good at talking to people. He's not nice.
So I don't know. My whole feeling about it is just like we know who the pieces of shit are in our industry,
right?
And like we're aware of it because we've seen them from the jump. Like if I'm sitting down with a comedian, right, and like this is why I don't fuck with a lot of them is like if you immediately start talking shit about your co-host to me when I'm sitting down with you, like. I got to start questioning your integrity a little bit. It's like, that's your boy. Like, why are you shit-talking your boy to me?
Right.
So it's, but you saw it. A lot of these guys, man, you saw it. You saw a lot of these guys. You saw, and it's like, I think a lot of this is just salvation, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like they see an internet trend, and I think that like right now there's this internet trend, oh, the fucking manosphere, blah, 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 blah. And I think I see guys who you were very generous to, like you let your platform, your millions of followers, the biggest show on the planet, help them make tons of money, help them really have success, build their own platforms. And now they see like an internet trend about like the manosphere or whatever. And I see guys like trying to create a little separation. I see all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you use this guy to make millions of dollars and get all these fans. And now you see online outrage and you're like, oh no, that's them. That's not me. It's like you had no problem being part of the Avengers. You know what I mean? You had no problem being in the photos. You had no problem before. And now you see a little shit going on. You separate. I feel like that's the moment you double down for your boy. That's the moment you go, I know that person. What people are saying about him isn't real. And you refute that. That's what I would do. I mean, whatever.